I don't even know where to begin with this one because it is really late. I'm trying to sleep and I can't. Not because I have any problem sleeping right now, but because there is some pretty harmful, aggressive surveillance based behavior being directed towards me at this late hour, even when I am in another state other than Massachusetts and in a place that nobody should have any knowledge of because it does not belong to me. I do not live here, and I don't mention the location or the address in any of my social media posts. It is right around 2:30 a.m. on what is now Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I'm exhausted. I'm trying to sleep. I have a very busy day ahead of me. I don't have time to be making videos in the middle of the night when I'm lying in somebody else's guest bedroom trying to sleep. However, the problem with criminally insane psychopaths is that they're criminally insane. And therefore, what they do doesn't make any sense, at least not to normal, rational persons who live normal lives and have obligations financial, personal, professional, um, social obligations. I have all of those right now on my plate. And I am not looking to be harassed in the middle of the night by a severely disturbed sex offender who happens to be a psychopath who is apparently getting paid to do everything that I keep noting, observing, and experiencing that this person is doing right now and that they have been doing almost continuously for 11 years towards me. This person's name is Jasmine Irizarry, and I have excellent reason to believe at this point that she is absolutely down here in Connecticut, in Southern Connecticut, and is right in the vicinity of the condominium where I've been staying for the last 2 weeks now, helping an elderly family member with some severe medical issues and hospitalization related logistics. Irizarry has been using oh my God. Yeah. All right. So this piece of shit is right here. Like, presumably in the condominium next to this one. A condominium owned by a woman named Catherine. I don't know her last name, but she lives right next to this one. Therefore, I can probably look her up with an address. And she is a big supporter of BLM. She had a big sign somewhere near her front door back in 2020 when all the BLM riots were going on, where BLM activists were all pissed off and burning police stations and killing people and literally getting away with mayhem and murder. Um, because of their skin color. I mean, they think everything is related to their skin color, and it's not. Nothing is ever that simple, and it's not about your skin color, it's about your behavior. Anyway, Ms. Irizarry is a psychopath and a sex offender who is in the sponsorship of the property manager at 5 Union Ave named Oleg Aleseyev. Over the last 11 years, on multiple occasions, when I've brought concerns to Mr. Aleseyev, because he's a property manager, about his tenant, Jasmine Irizarry's ongoing criminal harassment and surveillance based theft, vandalism, contamination of my clothing, personal care items, etc., along with her deliberate contamination of the tap water to my kitchen sink, likely using a saddle valve, which is a very simple, cheap, easy to use piece of hardware. Mr. Alesseyev's response to my concerns about Jasmine Irizarry have been the following quotes. Oh, she's so talented, she can hack into anything. She can get into anything. She's our surveillance expert. And on another occasion, Mr. Aleseyev stated, hold on just a second. Yeah, his exact words were, she can take care of any problem. When you take care of a problem, you make it go away. When you solve a problem, you find a constructive solution. Mr. Aleseyev might be a sociopath in terms of bragging about Jasmine Irizarry's criminal activities, but he's not stupid, and his wording was probably pretty deliberate. Mr. Aleseyev is Russian. Aleseyev is a Russian last name. It's not Ukrainian. He is reportedly from the area around the border of the Ukraine and Russia, and he is working for a Russian property owner named Alex Kritnik, who is legitimately and verifiably from Russia. Mr. Kritnik owns properties in Russia, and that has been confirmed to me verbally and in person via insiders at the Greenville Group as recently as a month and a half ago. Mr. Kritnik travels to Russia quite frequently, goes there on vacation, and therefore has immediate and continuous connections with Russian whatever's going on over there, right? I don't know. What I do know is that there has been the ongoing use of a directed energy device towards me over the last 8 years by Jasmine Irizarry, who has bragged in multiple written comments that she has made on my videos on this channel that she is getting paid to use a directed energy device. And Ms. Irizarry's comments have been quite detailed and have described very accurately the duration and intensity of her use of this device on my person that match exactly what I have been personally experiencing in terms of the duration and intensity of the use of that device on my person. Right now it is 3:30, something like that, in the morning, and I'm getting electronically assaulted while lying in a guest room, flat on my back, doing the one thing that triggers Jasmine Irizarry into using her directed energy device on my person when I am up in Boston, doing this exact thing while lying on my bed. It's not what you think. It's very G rated. And it always happens when I'm lying on my bed or lying on a mattress, flat on my back, trying to sleep. And the one thing that I do that triggers Jasmine Irizarry into using her directed energy device, even in the middle of the night, meaning Irizarry is an obsessive psychopath who uses surveillance devices, which matches what Mr. Aleseyev has said about her. And she uses those surveillance devices to harass people based on what she can hear and see them doing in whatever living space they happen to be in. Ms. Irizarry gets triggered when I do this one thing while lying on my back on a mattress or on my bed. And that one thing is scratching my eczema. Unbelievable. Jesus. It's a little late for this. And that's back to the point that I was making about criminally insane psychopaths. They're stupid. They want people to know that what they are doing is what they're doing. The connection between Jasmine Irizarry, Oleg Aleseyev, the use of a directed energy device, and Alex Kritnik, the Russian property owner who frequently and reportedly frequently travels to Russia, is the use of a directed energy device. If you watch multiple documentaries made recently about directed energy devices, you will see that the main users and instigators of the use of civilian directed energy devices, meaning this is not the military, this is civilians, are Russians. A lot like hacking, Russians tend to use directed energy devices and have been reportedly doing so with increasing frequency on American citizens over the last few years. Just Google CBS News 60 Minutes directed energy weapons. These are not military grade energy weapons. These are handheld, civilian operated directed energy devices that are simply lasers that emit EMF output instead of emitting light. That's it. No science fiction involved. It's a simple device that's like a laser, okay? For the idiots out there who have nothing better to do than watch my videos. It's easy to speculate endlessly about stuff that you don't have all the facts for. So I'm going to try to stick to the facts. Over the last 8 years, with increasing duration and intensity, I have been getting electronically assaulted by some type of electronic assault weapon by somebody who is being sponsored to do so in the building where I've been living since 2011. This person, who I suspect is responsible for the use of a directed energy device, has admitted that that is what they're doing. And they have made some very specific, detailed, and accurate comments about the duration and intensity of the use of that device. Therefore, my hypothesis has some strong supportive evidence coming from somebody who is using the exact name of the person who I keep saying is the one who is doing this, a psychopath and sex offender named Jasmine Irizarry, who has been repeatedly bragged about by the crooked Russian slumlord property manager Oleg Alexeyev as being a very talented hacker, as being able to get into anything, as being able to take care of any problem. That's a lot of information right there that should not be bragged about by anybody, but they're bragging about it because they're sociopaths and psychopaths, and they think that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They think they're above the law, and maybe they are, because this is a group of reported BLM activists that so far seem to be able to get away with a lot of criminal activity, not just towards myself, but other people as well. The same group of BLM activists who I keep naming in my videos recently contacted one of my close personal friends. This is a friend that I've had since way before these pieces of shit ever showed up on the scene at the 5 Union Ave building. And I've known this friend since 2010, 2011, before I even moved into the building. And yet the BLM psycho trash who keep hate stalking me and my channel and my friends and my family took it upon themselves to hack into my devices, and this is how they know who my friends are. They contacted one of my closest friends, and she felt bad for them. And for a while, she was actually friendly with them, let's put it that way. And she recently told me that she has concluded that they're all completely crazy and she wants to have nothing to do with them. So there's that. So obviously, the fact that one of my close personal friends, who I've known for 15 years, has been contacted by Jasmine Irizarry, Jason DaCosta, Charles Thomas, et al., the BLM activists and sex offenders in my building, and that she was friendly with them for a while and would defend them, and now no longer wants to have anything to do with them, is proof that these BLM criminals have hacked into my devices and have been contacting my contacts and friends that I have listed in my devices for years. That's a fact. But that is proof in the form of one of my close personal friends no longer wanting to have anything to do with this group of hate stalking sex offender psycho trash who claim to be BLM activists but really are just an embarrassment to everybody, including themselves, but they're too stupid to know it. And their friend and sponsor, the property manager Oleg Alexeyev, a crooked Russian slumlord who is negligent and has been charged by the city of Boston with criminal negligence in my apartment several times over the last few years. So yes, that is a crooked Russian slumlord. And right now, I'm once again, as I'm making this video, being electronically assaulted by a device that is like a laser and emits EMFs instead of light, and therefore can go through walls. Ms. Irizarry is in Connecticut and in Southern Connecticut right now. Earlier this afternoon, and this is critical, Ms. Irizarry was standing at the end of the deck to this condominium on the property line between this condominium and the next door property. And she was screeching and shouting as I was opening the rear sliding door. And she was slamming things around where the trash cans are at the back of the property. This would be Catherine, the crazy BLM dog lady's property next door. Catherine hosts Jasmine Irizarry when Jasmine Irizarry comes down here, apparently at the same time that I do. Irizarry was screeching and shouting in the same hyena-like laugh earlier this afternoon when I was standing by the sliding door of the back deck of this condominium, and Ms. Irizarry has been unleashing this highly unusual, unique, you can't duplicate this laugh for 11 years. She likes to unleash this hyena-like laugh in my direction when she is within a few yards of my physical person, and she wants me to know that she's just a few yards away. Ms. Irizarry has been doing this at Back Bay Station on multiple occasions over the last few months when I had been at Back Bay Station waiting for the Amtrak train to go down here. And Ms. Irizarry wants me to know that she is on the same train as myself by showing up on the platforms where I happen to be, unleashing her hyena-like laugh in my direction from just a few feet away. And then when I'm on the train, she uses her directed energy device to let me know that she is also on the same train. Directed energy devices do not have a range of more than 1.5 miles. And when you're on a train traveling through the wilds of Connecticut, the only place where somebody can be using a directed energy device on you as the train is barreling through the countryside is on the same train. And Ms. Irizarry has repeatedly used her directed energy device on me in the middle of the night for years while I've been lying on my bed, flat on my back, facing the ceiling and scratching my eczema, which seems to trigger her into using this directed energy device, even though the eczema is on my head and I'm not scratching any other body part. But it seems to trigger her anyway, and she uses this directed energy device almost every single time that I scratch my eczema when I'm lying on my back, not just in my unit, but now down here in my family's condominium as well, which Irizarry has shown multiple signs of having managed to pick the lock to, not just over the last couple of weeks, but over the last few months. Unfortunately, my parents are trusting people. There's no deadbolt on the door, and it can be easily picked from the outside. This is also the same condominium where my father's car was stolen by experienced car thieves within less than 90 seconds in the middle of the day a few years ago, with surveillance cameras rolling and capturing the entire car theft on camera. So when people want to get into something, whether it's a locked car or a locked condominium, they certainly can, especially when they're stupid psychopath, sex offender, career criminals like Jasmine Irizarry and her friends at BLM.